Definitely get that red apple when it's hot.
17,000 acres.
Show people what coffee really is.
My heart's not gonna explode.
I feel the devil inside.
This is awesome.
Out to this small co-op in Solala, which is in Guatemala. It's right outside of Lake Atitlan. Basically visiting roughly about 100 to 150 farmers, and it's a co-op, so they just kind of all bring their coffee there.
Up there is their lab. We're gonna have.
Oh, nice.
So first we're gonna have a cup of coffee, then we're gonna walk a little bit. Then we're gonna back and cup some of their samples, right?
Yeah, I love it.
See, and the volcano's name is San Pedro St. Peter volcano.
Wow. It has to be so much different than what our customers typically get. If we have something that's sour, it's too foreign, right? It's too foreign, it's not as pleasurable.
Yeah.
So we're trying to pull people over from chocolate, things like that, into something that's a little bit sweeter. Yeah. And then we're keep pulling them, right? So we got to make this adjustment to show people what coffee really is. Like, you have to educate people along the way. It's also like adjusting their palate.
Yeah.
Well, the camera doesn't, like, it has a natural, like, visceral negative reaction towards you. The camera does. It's more the lens and the people operating it. So it's nothing personal.
I'm Edwin at Black Rifle Coffee. In the U.S. Army, I served as a Green Beret for 8 years. Kind of what I'm in charge of is a lot of the product development. I'm also a licensed Q Arabica grader, a sommelier of coffee, if you will. So it's very important for me to come down to these countries like Guatemala and meet the producers and taste the coffees there. So kind of train my palate to know what to look for, know what our customers are going to like. So my expertise is coffee.
What are you getting?
And some sugar cane, caramel.
Yeah. I don't know what the sugar is. Like, it's almost like a peach. If I were to describe it, I'd say peach with tobacco.
17,000 acres.
17,000 acres? Wow, that's a couple plants. That's crazy.
I wanted to get a good shot of these shorts.
We're getting in the Hoongla. I wanted to blend into my environment, you know what I mean? With my fanny, got my wallet. I seem to have lost my passport, so I don't think that's a big deal, right? You can just get another one. You just order another one, right?
Yeah.
Where are we going? This way?
What did you think of that ride over here?
I wasn't sure if we were under a time trial type situation. I felt like it was necessary to wear, one, a safety belt. A seat belt, right? That was a necessity. Two, I thought we might be in a race of some kind, but I wasn't sure if we were trying to race each other, you know what I mean? Because it didn't seem like we were, but then it did seem like we were.
I think he lied,
right,
and said that it was only 3 hours away when it's actually a 5-hour trip.
Correct.
So the only way to make up for that was to drive like a maniac.
Yeah. I told you it was a 4-hour drive. Rodrigo told you it was a 3. I was super honest, and it was.
How long did it take?
5 hours.
Solid 5?
Solid 5. Solid 5. He's given us the full experience. There were a couple wrong answers in this entire thing. One, there was no coffee in the morning at the hotel. A lack of coffee in Guatemala at fucking 6 a.m. I was a little bit cranky. Well, and two, I was stuck in a car with Matt, so I had...
You fixed that after the first stop, though.
So I got some coffee, shifted out of my car with Matt, and turned my entire demeanor around. It was great. CIA has their own crop?
They do with their water is with a pump they send it here to that thing, keep it there like for 2 days. It's a
I get it. Wait until he's on the phone again. Oh no, he's still there. All right, so we had to get another driver to make this trip out here. We just had too many people. Fredy asked his baker friend to help us, and I've never seen somebody field so many phone calls in all of my life. Interesting what he's baking down here in Guatemala.
Fredy,
yeah.
is Nico, is he that fucking important?
Yeah.
Like, drugs?
Yeah,
Okay.
we sell bread and drugs.
Bread?
Yeah,
Do you sell drugs in your bread? Is that what it is?
that could be a good idea.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You'd make a lot more. There's a little bit more risk associated with it, though. Have you ever heard of the phone app called Grindr?
Yes, I have.
So this is just a quick way to evaluate the coffees. So you can see you've got the ground coffee in front of the green coffee and the roasted sample. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna smell the fragrance, then we're gonna get it wet, smell the aroma, and then we're gonna start to taste the coffee. As far as cupping, that's just a way in the coffee industry that we evaluate coffee, much like beer, much like wine. Like any industry, they have to have a way to do quality control. So much with wine that everybody's familiar with, they see, you know, the guy with the big glass, he's swirling around, analyzing the fragrance, the aroma, the taste. We do the same thing in the coffee industry.
What do you got here? Fanny. Hey.
It's 24 karat gold. Doesn't transfer any taste or any flavors when I'm cupping the coffees. Just kind of looks cool. First thing we're gonna do is check the flavor, aftertaste, the acidity, and then as it's cooling down, checking the body, the balance, kind of just the overall impression of the coffee.
What I like to do is right before we cup is I like to eat a thing of hot chili picante sardines. It just cleanses my palate. So.
Talking to each other. I'm not saying I'm smelling this, I'm smelling that, because then that's going to put that in Matt or Evan's head, and they're going to start smelling that as well. So we're going to go through and we're going to dip our spoons basically in each cup. One to sanitize it, one to heat it up, and then two not to transfer this coffee to that coffee to the next sample to the next sample. So basically take it in the back side of the spoon. It's called breaking the crust. You're just going to push it 3 times, get your nose in there, evaluate the aroma. Yeah, it's just the coffee grounds just rising to the top, and then as you push that back, that aroma's just shooting straight up your nostril. So now we've evaluated the aroma. They're gonna go through, clean up all the coffees, get all these loose grounds off the top of it, and then we're gonna let it cool a little bit. You don't wanna get like overly caffeinated if you're cupping dozens and dozens of samples. So you're just tasting the coffee and then you're gonna spit it out. For me, I'm just doing 5 samples, so I'm just gonna swallow it, just take it.
He always
Spitters
does.
are kind of cheaters. Yeah, I don't really like spitters. Basically, we're just taking out the spoon, getting a little bit in our bowl right there, raising it up, and then just kind of aspirating it. This is kind of the fun part of the job, to see how everything affects everything. So we're at the very start of the coffee journey. So we're tasting it at the farm, and then from here, it's just gonna make it all the way back to the customer. Once everybody gets a pass through this, we're gonna compare notes, talk about the coffee.
What do you think about that one?
I'll let Ed answer that.
All right.
He's better at it than I am.
All right.
That was my favorite coffee on the table. I like stone fruits, baker's chocolate, caramel. Super bright acidity, almost kind of like some Kenyan coffees that I've sampled before. Clean finish. Overall, it's a great coffee. For flavors, I got toast, kind of a little bit of peach, and caramel and some nuts.
That was my favorite coffee, and I didn't pull anything out that you did. And I actually pulled dried fruit, and actually tasted me almost cascara, almost really pulled forward. Out of all the coffees out there, kind of the way that I did my pass was I looked for big differentiating factors. I got nut in each one, but number 5 really stood out as something different to me. Those are the type of coffees that I'm really interested in, and the ones that kind of like stick out.
Porque siente que todos los demás son buenos, pero son muy parecidos. Está buscando siempre un diferenciador. Okay. Por ejemplo, si
Like out of the entire table, there wasn't one that stood out as like, this is a bad cup of coffee.
Feeling down inside.
That's the biggest fish I've ever caught in my life.
God damn it, it's right fucking there, man. Like the purest form of man against beast.
没想